Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the video. Another paid request, this time for Gia. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, verses, tier lists, reviews, re-reviews, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it directly. PayPal is usually the best bet, or join the Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box under most of these videos. And on a side note, people were giving Gia a hard time the last one or two times he sent in a request, and I'm kind of tired of people doing that. So please don't do that. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Gia's put a decent amount of money and has been a nice support. I mean, that's kindness out of his own heart to hear my opinion on something. And I get what the requests are for. The person requests, usually it's like a bad and a good movie, as in, why did this film work, but this film didn't? Not, well, obviously this one's better. What are you talking about? Why is he requesting this? Because to give an explanation, comparison as how a film like Batman '89 took the Batman character, superhero feel, look, aesthetic, story. What about that made that so well done compared to The Flash, that also took Michael Keaton's Batman and did such a disservice, piss poor quality in terms of a superhero movie, in terms of a piece of entertainment, in terms of the Batman character himself, and everything in between. Other requests he's had in the past, why does this film like Predator do it well, while this film faltered? What are the reasons why it faltered? For X, Y, and Z reasons. Compare, contrast, all that stuff. So, again, please leave Gia alone. He's been nothing but nice and has not done anything to deserve that. Felt it was only right for me to stick up for the person because they didn't do anything wrong. So, getting to the topic at hand. Batman '89 versus The Flash 2023. Now, yes, Batman '89 is easily the better movie. Music, storytelling, serving the character much better. Better directed, better effects, better aesthetics, not trying to bait for nostalgia, sympathy, and also having a much better lead actor, lead performance. Because you compare, for example, Michael Keaton as the lead in Batman '89. This is a guy that people, oh, who's this guy? He's a comedy actor. He could never pull this off. And he did. And for many, not all, but for many people, they think of Michael Keaton as Batman, as the best Batman, or their favorite Batman. You just say nostalgia, but I think a lot of people still feel Michael Keaton did a wonderful job as Batman. Bruce Wayne and Batman. Now, yes, Bruce Wayne is not as developed of a character as other pieces of media, or comic book-wise, but Michael Keaton, he was not irritating, he was not annoying, he fit comfortably in the Bruce Wayne skin. Hey, I'm Bruce Wayne. He's a guy that, even though he's rich, even though he's got fame, he's not really part of that crowd. He's more honed in on being Batman. He's kind of awkward, but not ridiculous levels. Like he's at the party, and Tim Baser doesn't even realize he's Bruce Wayne. He's at his own party, but he's not being big and broad. He's still kind of, I won't say hiding in the shadows, but in a way keeping to himself. And he's very comfortable as Batman. The voice doesn't sound ridiculous, doesn't sound silly. And you took him hook, line, sinker as a serious Batman. Because people don't remember what Batman was at that time. It was mainly the Adam West that was the image of Batman. Campy, corny, silly, goofy, bam, pow, wow. Robin having short shorts, so short that he needs to shave his balls because they don't show on camera. Ridiculous villains like Eggman, like all that stuff was in the hemisphere of the majority of the crowd, other than comic book fans, of course, but the majority of the crowd that only knew Batman because of that successful TV show, or being part of Super Friends, just for kids. But then with the writing staff and casting people like Jack Nicholson in there as the Joker, getting a guy that had not done a whole lot other than what Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Other than Pee-wee's Big Adventure, he did like maybe some short films, but Beetlejuice. He had done Beetlejuice, which was successful for Warner Brothers, which also had Michael Keaton. So you had a guy named Tim Burton, who maybe didn't have as much creative control compared to Batman Returns, but with the look of Gotham and the way the aesthetics of that film are showcased in terms of the sequences with the Batplane, and not only just with the way Jack Nicholson played the Joker character, having so much fun with the role, having be a darker version of Batman, where Batman is, yes, in that, I know in the comics he's not supposed to kill, but here, it just didn't bother me like it did other people, maybe because I didn't read Batman like other people did. But Tim Burton knew how to set up shots. I mean, the beginning, showcasing Gotham, you have that fantastic score by Danny Elfman. Not just the main theme, but my favorite piece of music is at the end of the film. Showcasing such an amount of triumphant success of that character. And the way Tim Burton set up those shots, like the last shot of Batman and the bat signal in the same frame as that triumphant music, these elements, these moments, these shots, okay, you have the bat plane, but hey, let's have the bat plane come up, and there's the moon, and so the moon, like you have the moon, and then the way the bat signal, and the way it puts a spotlight, it's like a spotlight on the bat plane using the moon, such a beautiful shot. And aside from little bits here and there, a lot of it still holds up fairly well. Because these old school techniques were used for a reason for such a long time. And plus a lot of stuff they had to build for real, because you cannot get more real than real. And then you add in Jack Nicholson, and his plan is a very serious plan. I mean, it is goofy, his, not goofy, but his jovial way, he's still poisoning people to the fact they fucking die with a smile on their face. Oh yeah, he's shocking someone, but they're being burnt to a fucking crisp. Then you look at The Flash, and just how we're supposed to be taking this film seriously to the point of, not that it's going to be an Oscar caliber film, it was never going to be, but okay, he wants to have this serious story about a mom that was murdered, and he wants to go back to save his mom. There's a lot of pathos, there's a lot of emotion you gather from that. But on the flip side, that tone just completely ripped from its grasp when you have The Flash saving babies with a bunch of ugly looking, Alabamobile looking CGI babies, where one he has to save by putting in the goddamn microwave. And nothing in Batman 89 that I know is piss poor editing like in The Flash. Which someone made a good point. Maybe it's not the editor's fault. Maybe the director was stupid enough to forget this shot. Where the dog's fallen. Flash has the stretcher. Then the next millisecond, the dog is on the stretcher. And as the person who commented on my Flash video, he said, well, I mean, if the editor had nothing to work with and the director was stupid enough to not shoot that, then what could the editor do? I'm like, well, that's true. I'd love to have a chat with the editor of that film. Did the director was he so stupid enough to not shoot him saving the dog? So the dog's fallen, he can't get up, he just fallen, then stretcher, then next shot, it's from here to here, the next millisecond. Very obvious, and just bad, not just bad editing, but bad CGI. And the director, oh, that's done on purpose. No, it's not. Okay? Unless you're trying to make a so bad it's good movie, Samurai Cop 2, something of that nature, then no. The reason those effects are bad is probably because you didn't want to give the effects guys the time of day. They asked for this amount of time, you gave them this amount of time, and then they take the blame, and you producers, studio heads, whoever made that decision, get the fucking pass. Even though you spent like $300 million and it still looks like shit. Batman 89 did not nearly have that amount of money. It had a good sized budget, but not that amount, and it still looks pretty good. The way Gotham looks, it becomes its own character. The scenes of the Batmobile blowing up one of the factory, and real explosions around as the Batmobile is swerving, and the Batplane going after Joker and it crashing and using models and then crashing on the streets of Gotham and sailing in front of the, before he goes up, fighting bad guys against bells and throwing their ass all the way down. While the Flash just looks piss poor. The Flash himself, unlikable character. It doesn't help that Ezra Miller is a piece of trash human being. Which then the guy had the gall to say the media was biased. How can I... You have a rap sheet longer than this book with all these pages. You see these pages? If I kept going, I would still be reading your rap sheet, dude. Michael Keaton, even at the time, I'm not sure about him, still a talented actor, clean and sober, really good, underrated dramatic performance. Beetlejuice shows he could work with Tim Burton. Don't really care about Beetlejuice 2 that's coming out. So you look at the heroes. Batman was done with respect. Though they didn't make his character all of a sudden be goofy, silly like Batman and Robin. With coming out with the Bat credit card. Now you say, well, the Flash should have jokes or jovial humor, but it's another thing to have a younger Flash that has an annoying laugh that makes the fucking doves cry. That makes kids weep in the streets, makes old senile people have heart attacks because they don't want to be in a world where this laugh contagious to their fucking eardrums. With Ezra Miller's laugh that makes dolphins repent their sins against humanity and makes bald eagles grow hair, just go bald over the fuck again to not hear any more of this laughing shit from Ezra Miller. So you have one that's unlikable of a human being, but also unlikable of a character that is terribly written, unfunny, and just really annoying. Batman, he's cool, calm, collected. He could be a bit scary. Batman. You buy it, and you know he's all about his business. He's all serious. You could argue that technically they tried to do more development on the Flash and show his backstory. While in Batman 89, the most he did is him visiting the area where his parents died. And you just say, yeah, it would have been nice to see a bit more Michael Keaton getting to showcase his acting style, to develop Batman as a character more, Bruce Wayne as a character more. A little bit what they did in like Christopher Nolan's films, and even The Batman, which I enjoyed with Robert Pattinson. But as a piece of entertainment, it was still a badass, while the Flash just felt a lame ass motherfucker. And the look of the film, again, The Flash, even though it's a 2023 film, even though it probably had double, triple the budget Batman 89 had, even with inflation, at least maybe double, it still looks atrocious, and it still looks dated, more so than a film from 1989. In terms of the set design, in terms of the effects, in terms of, again, not having stupid CGI babies, Again, they look like that. Look up the Allen-Mobile baby if you don't know that reference. That's what it looked like. Trying too hard to be goofy, silly, funny, and it just comes off as a scene up there with the Catwoman basketball scene and some other just unbelievably atrocious scenes. Batman 89 doesn't have that. Can't think of one scene that's so atrocious compared to the many scenes of The Flash. And then The Flash being like 30 some minutes longer didn't help either in terms of pacing. The villain, the villain of Joker, Jack Nicholson, he's menacing, but at the same time he's funny. He's got a charm to him, even though he's doing such evil deeds. He's having so much for the role that it's just insanely entertained to watch Jack Nicholson as Joker. You want to hit a guy with glasses, huh? And Batman, punches him. Him trying to mimic Jack Palance's candor and mannerism. You are my number one guy. Even when they're messing up the painting, and it's like, no, don't. I kind of like this one. I like my face on a $100 bill. Just insanely having fun and committed to the role. While in The Flash, the villains, one you don't really know is a villain till the very, very end of the film, the evil Flash. Other than that, it's Zod, which is, was it Michael Shannon? I'm trying to remember the actor's name. Sorry, I'm bad with names. Just being Zod again, kind of like how he was in Man of Steel, but the same his face. I don't know if they tried to de-age his face or something about it looked off, or just because they have certain screen in front. I just from seeing like a force field type of thing. I don't know, just something about it looked off. But there's really nothing about the performance that's really that memorable, noteworthy. Lines, dialogue, exchanges, emotion, entertainment. They're really... Oh, you don't remember anything about his performance? In fact, watch a lot of reviews of The Flash. Most of them won't even mention him in terms of acting performance. They were just like, oh yeah, by the way, Zod was in this. And for a chunk of it, he's kind of the villain of the movie in a way. I guess halfway through when that character arrives. In Batman 89, in a way, it's still committed to what its story is. The birth of the Joker and Batman dealing with the Joker. The Flash, it tries to do so many multiple films. It wants to be, I need to find out what happened to my mom. But at the same time, he never does find out who killed his mom. He never finds out, even though it'd be easy. Because he just watched the fucking house. And, I know this is the day, and this is the time where my mom died. I could wait outside. I'm the Flash, so I could go as fast as I can. If he enters, stop, know who it is, go back in time again, find that guy, I don't know, beat the shit out, something, anything. But no. Instead, tomato sauce can change just that. That didn't make any sense. Why would you do that? You don't want to know who killed... If I'm the Flash and someone killed my mom, I would want to know who the fuck that was. Wouldn't you? This is inane writing that I don't know if it's just... I really don't know why. It feels like many points of writing has gone down the fuck hill in the past few decades. I really don't know why. Please explain. But Batman 9, he looks at certain phrases, knows certain phrases. Joker says, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? And Bruce Wayne's like, what'd you say? I was something to say to all my victims. Just like the sound of it. Or, why does he say, let's get nuts? Bruce Wayne, for most of the film, is very calm, collected. He needs to get this thing under his shirt at like bulletproof vest. He doesn't want the guy to maybe find Alfred or kill Kim Basinger, so he needs to find a way to get out of this situation. Okay, let me pretend to be a crazy madman. Let's get nuts, huh? So that, boom, he gets shot. But then he get away. Joker thinks Bruce Wayne's dead. So, never gonna think about him again. Not to you get to be my Batman uniform and my Batmobile, my toys. Go on about my business. Just a little bit more competent writing compared to The Flash. And action sequence wise, at least there's some practicality happening in the fight scenes. Where Batman just to fight some guys. Here, every fight scene is some type of overblown CGI. Even with Batman himself. Oh, and of course the usage of Michael Keaton as Batman. The Flash, he's either a crazy old coot living in a mansion that he doesn't even lock his doors. His stunt double is going around because he's too old to do the shit. And then it ends with him falling flat face first. I know stunt people did Michael Keaton's bit of business in fighting in the 89 film, to be fair. But I don't remember Batman falling face first into food in the kitchen because the stupid, younger, annoying Ezra Miller Flash moved out of the way. I don't remember Batman 89. I didn't think he would be the type of god to explain the travails of time with spaghetti, which is silly, unfunny, try-hard humor. Oh, and here's another difference. They didn't kill Batman off. While in The Flash, they killed Batman off twice. And the last time, more than likely, we'll ever see Michael Keaton as Batman is him dying in Ezra Miller's arms. And for some reason, they think fans want to see that. And that's another thing, Batman 89. It wasn't relying on a constant regurgitation of nostalgia to sell its product, or to sell its story, or to sell its box office take. It was this big event movie because superhero films were not a dime a dozen. I mean, in the 80s, you had Superman in the 70s, and then the sequels in the 80s. You had Incredible Hulk TV show, 70s, maybe the 80s. You didn't have a lot of superhero movies, really. The Punisher was 89, comic book movie. Captain America was 1990. Like, you didn't really have many superhero movies. So this felt refreshing. It felt different. It felt unique. We had not seen a Batman movie of this nature on the screen. And, we don't take it a bit seriously. We got big stars like Jack Nicholson, and it's going to be this big event film. The Flash just felt like another fly in the ointment, pain in the ass, typical DC blunder. Where, hey, this guy's pulled in, even though he's 67 years old, to get the remember them berries moments. And then we're so baiting and desperate for nostalgia. Let's also put in cameos from Christopher Reeve, who's dead, and he can't even fucking make that choice. More than likely the family did, to allow his face to be used. Helen Slater, Supergirl. Nick Cage from the Superman movie never made. Adam West. Who else was there? George Reeves from the TV Superman. Like they had George Reeves at one point. I mean, that wasn't CG. That was just kind of showing the intro. But just... Why did they think people wanted to see a badly done CGI Christopher Reeve? Which I'm surprised, even if you don't do that, not this... this would still be a bad idea. But if you don't do that, I'm surprised they wouldn't do, like, here's Michael Keaton and then Christopher Reeve's Superman side by side. As in, that's the movie people wanted to see. I'm surprised they didn't do that. Like some kind of moment where Michael Keaton's Batman is somehow talking to Christopher Reeve's Superman. They like steal lines from Christopher Reeve's other Superman movies. I'm surprised they didn't do that route. I just they thought better of not making him talk, so Christopher Reeve's Superman just staring in his vacant CGI face. It's out of his, I should say, staring out of his vacant CGI face. See, I talk about the Flash. All I'm just talking about is more and more complaints. And not the case with Batman 89. And are there issues with Batman 89? Sure. I'm not as much a fan of the Prince music as other people are. I mean, it's there, but I mean, I prefer the Danny Elfman music. Sometimes tear to disappear. I'm trying. Well, maybe he didn't disappear. Yeah, I think he's at the end of the film. But so he didn't disappear. But I thought, what's his name, from Arliss, the TV show, Notch, the reporter. He's okay. You could say you make the argument that he didn't need to be in the film, but he was okay. There's not a lot of development of Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne. Kim Basinger's fine, but it's not like a stellar A+ performance, but it's fine. But it's just still an entertaining, solid piece of entertainment that did his job very well, bringing Batman back into the mainstream and the showcase that he can be taken seriously and wouldn't be a parody and wouldn't be a laugh riot and wouldn't be ridiculous and people would not be laughing at the film. This Flash movie is a fucking joke. From the real life behavior of Ezra Miller being a sick joke to his performance being an unfunny joke, terrible acting, two Ezra Millers are worse than one, Michael Keaton having not much to do, fight a couple guards with a lot of CGI enhancements during those scenes, him being useless in the final battle because he fucking keeps dying, and then you never see him again. Same with Supergirl, you never see her again, so is she going back to the timeline where she was stuck and trapped by the government officials and will never be saved? Or is she going back to the timeline where she would fight Zod, but she's going to die because she kept dying over and over again? Or it seems like Supergirl, no matter what, she's fucked and screwed. So it's just no happy ending for Supergirl. Just not a satisfying ending. And then Batman actually solves his problems in the 89 film. He stops Joker. People get mad that he killed Joker. I was fine with it because the motherfucker deserved it. But I get it. In the comics, he wouldn't do that. I get that. The Flash, he still messes with time. He goes back and time is still fucked up because there's George Clooney. So Ben Affleck's Batman, as of right now, is no longer in existence. Unless off-screen the Flash changes. Well, if he changes time again, then his father would be back in jail. So I don't know what will happen to Ben Affleck's Batman. Probably nothing, because they're going with the whole James Gunn universe. And the music, other than when they try to reference the Batman 89's type of music, do anyone remember the music of The Flash? What's The Flash's theme? If there's a song called I'm an Asshole, that could be his theme. But I mean, sincerely, do you remember the music of The Flash? Not referencing anything of Batman's old themes. I'm talking about The Flash. You remember any music of The Flash? I'm not talking about the Wonder Woman, from her cameo. You You remember the Batman music from Danny Elfman, classic. You don't remember a fucking beat of music from The Flash that's of the character The Flash. And his suit looks like shit, and him trying to run like he's swimming through the air looks like shit. And there's stupid shit like, okay, he could go through walls, but he takes a guy and moves him so fucking fast to go through a wall, but he's not, that guy doesn't die. Apparently your body can move so fast. If someone moves your body that fast to go through a wall, you're fucking dead. You're not just puking. See, this is all shit I think of. At Batman 89, I think of happy times and good moments and good solid moments with Jack Nicholson. The reveal of coming to light and showcases makeup of Joker. You could call me Joker. Or the commercial he had of his brand X that he was using to poison people. Love that Joker. Or again, Michael Keaton being badass. Whether it be again the bat plane. He stole my balloons. Kicking ass, taking names, throwing people all the way down to fucking hell. Which I know I get it. If you're a big Batman comic book fan, you wouldn't like that, but I wasn't. So yeah, Baby 89 knew what he was doing. Had at the time, a competent director. And they didn't have to fucking try to have nostalgia masturbation. And it's like, yeah, we gotta kill off Batman 89 to pimp up, prop up the Flash, and be like, yes, this is motivation. And you like him, right, guys? Because he does all this, and technically it will save Michael Keaton's Batman. We don't see it. You just assume it. Because apparently there was an alternate ending that did show that, but they deleted it and put this ending in there because, well, who knows if we'll actually ever use Michael Keaton Batman. So probably not. Just the DC, James Gunn stuff. Batgirl got completely scrapped. The Flash should have been scrapped as well and put into the fucking vault. Just mishandling of characters and story and pacing and effects and music. Just a world of difference between that and Batman 89. Batman 89 will still be considered a classic by a lot of people. The Flash, if it's true, will be considered as one of the biggest or maybe even the biggest box office bomb in Warner Brothers history. Because I don't know if that'll be the final total and tally, but as of right now, there's the rumor, the guesswork of more than likely, maybe by some miracle it won't be, or technicalities. But when you're labeled almost one of the biggest box office bombs in Warner Brothers history, it's not really a great legacy, is it? So, there you go. You reap what you sow. Anyway, thank you once again, Gia. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.